Please.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this debate on topic ban of further research in gene alteration. I'm Adila Yumiawan. I will be your moderator for today. A moderator is someone who guides the discussion and makes sure that everyone follows the rules and has a fair chance to speak. Let me introduce our debate teams who will be conducting today. For Team A, the affirmative team who will be supporting the motion, they are Josiah as a first speaker, Lisa as the second speaker, and Rahfi as third speaker. And Team B, the negative team who will be opposing the motion, they are Jonathan as first speaker, Rahfi as second speaker, and Ranga as third speaker. Each team will consist of 3 speakers. The first speaker will present their case and outline their argument. The second speaker will review the opposing team's argument and reinforce their own case. The third speaker will summarize their argument regarding the motion. Please give a warm welcome to our debaters with a round of applause. The topic of today's debate is ban on further research in gene alteration. This is a British parliamentary debate, which means there are government side and the opposition side. Each speaker will have 5 minutes to deliver their speech, with point of information allowed after their first minute and before the last minute, and 2 minutes to summarize their points. The orders of speaker will be Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Leader of Opposition. The motion for this debate is ban all further research in gene alteration. There will be no breaks between speeches. After all the speeches are done, we will have a short intermission while the judges deliberate and decide on the winner. The first speaker of the affirmative side is Josiah. You have 5 minutes to speak. Please begin when you are ready.
Good afternoon, esteemed judges, distinguished opponents, and fellow debaters. As the first affirmative speaker, I will fulfill all the following tasks. Define the resolution /mood/topic. Present the affirmative team line. Outline briefly what each speaker or team will talk about. And present the first half of the affirmative case, including 2 cases. Our team proposes to discuss the motion of ban all further research in gene alteration. We define gene alteration as a deliberate modification of the genetic material of an organism, including but not limited to genetic engineering, gene editing, and other forms of genetic manipulation. Our team staunchly advocates of the implementation of a comprehensive ban of all further research in gene alteration. We believe that the potential risk and ethical concern associated with gene alteration outweigh any potential benefits. And therefore, a moratorium of such a research is imperative to safeguard human health and ethical principles. Our second speaker will delve into the ethical consideration surrounding gene alteration research, emphasizing the potential consequences of unchecked genetic manipulation of human health, and ecological balance and societal values. Finally, our third speaker will reinforce our team's stance by highlighting the need of precautionary measures in the face of certain scientific outcomes, advocating for the adoption of precautionary principle of guide decision-making in gene alteration research. I'm gonna present the first half of the affirmative case. Case 1. There's a potential health risk. Gene alteration research poses significant risk to human health, including the potential of unintended genetic mutation, unforeseen side effects, and long-term health consequences. While proponents of gene alteration tout its potential benefits in treating genetic diseases and enhancing human capabilities, the uncertain nature of genetic manipulation raises serious concern about the safety and well-being of individuals subjected to the experimental interventions. Case 2. Ethical concerns. Beyond the health risk, gene alteration research raises profound ethical dilemmas that cannot be ignored. The manipulation of genetic material raises questions about human dignity, autonomy, and the sanctity of life. By intervening in the genetic makeup of organisms, we risk undermining fundamental principle of bioethics and perpetuating inequalities in access to genetic technologies. A ban on further research in gene alteration is essential to uphold ethical standards and protect the integrity of the human genome. In conclusion, the affirmative team firmly believe that ban on all further research in gene alteration is necessary to safeguard human health, preserve ethical principles, and mitigate the potential risks associated with genetic manipulation. Thank you.
The second speaker of the negative side is Jonathan. You have 5 minutes to speak. Please begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Judge, respected opponents, and fellow debaters. As the first negative speaker, I accept the definition proposed by the program research in gene alteration. Understanding that we will engage deep toward this debate. Our team line is clear. While we acknowledge the ethical complexity surrounding gene alteration, a blanket ban on all further research in this field is not the most prudent course of action. Instead, we advocate for responsible regulation and oversight to guide scientific exploration in gene alteration. Briefly outlining our team's approach, my colleagues will delve into the potential benefit of gene alteration research, highlighting its role in medical advancements and disease prevention. Our second speaker will address the regulatory framework necessary to ensure ethical conduct and minimize potential risks associated with gene alteration. Finally, our third speaker will reinforce the importance of scientific freedom and the pursuit of knowledge, emphasizing the potential societal implication of continuing research in this field. Ito some main point from the first affirmative speaker. While the affirmative speaker is concerned about the ethical implication of gene alteration, it's essential to recognize that ethical dilemmas exist in many areas of scientific research. Blanket bans are not always the most effective means of addressing these concerns. Additionally, the affirmative speaker may have overstated the potential risks associated with gene alteration research, failing to acknowledge the strengthened regulation already in place to ensure the safety and ethical standards. Lastly, by advocating for complete ban on gene alteration research, the affirmative side overlook the significant potential benefit this research could yield in terms of medical breakthroughs and advancements in understanding genetic disease. Moving on to the result of our team's case. Case 1. Gene alteration research will be promised for addressing pressing health challenges such as genetic disorders and hereditary diseases. Through responsible and regulatory research, scientists has the potential to develop innovative treatments and therapies that could improve the quality of life for millions of individuals worldwide. Case 2. A blanket ban on gene alteration research would stifle scientific innovation and hinder progress in understanding fundamental biological processes. Gene alteration studies contribute to our understanding of genetic diversity, evolution, and the genetic cases of disease, paving the way for precision medicine and personal treatment approach. In conclusion, while we acknowledge the ethical consideration, we believe that ban on further research in gene alteration would be overly restrictive and counterproductive. Advocating for responsible regulation and continued scientific exploration, we can harness the potential gene alteration research while mitigating potential risks. That's all.
Next, the third speaker of the affirmative side, Rita. You have 5 minutes to speak. Please begin when you're ready.
Good morning, everyone. I will give you a tip about when our further research in gene alteration. unintended genetic change resulting from gene-editing activities. A study published in Science Advance in 2022 demonstrated that even minor alteration to the genome could have far-reaching effects, raising seriously safety concerns. Furthermore, the commodification of gene alteration technology raises ethical questions about equity, access, and consent. There is a real risk of exacerbating social inequalities and widening the gap between the privileged and marginalized communities. Even these uncertainties and ethical dilemmas and temporary moratorium on further research in gene alteration is warranted until comprehensive risk assessment are conducted, regulatory frameworks are strengthened, and societal consensus is reached on how to ethically and responsibly harness this technology for the greater good. Research in gene alteration, also known as genetic engineering or genetic modification, continue to advance in various fields such as agriculture, medicine, or biotechnology. Scientists are exploring techniques like CRISPR-Cas9 to edit genes more precisely and efficiently with potential applications in disease treatment to improvement. Ethical consideration and regulation are important aspects guiding this research to ensure responsible use and potential benefit for society. Some researchers say gene editing of humans could have unpredictable effects on future generations, and this is ethically unacceptable. They also want that the technology could be used to create awareness of enhanced human. Not all work in the area of health until these applications are fully assessed. Thank you.
Next is the first speaker on the negative side, is Rahfi. You have 5 minutes to speak. Please begin when you ready.
Good morning, everyone. As a second negative, I will argue against making further research in gene alterations. While it is important to acknowledge the ethical concerns surrounding this field, the blanket ban will be overly restrictive and detrimental to scientific progress. The research in gene alteration has the potential revolution medicine by providing treatments for currently incurable genetic diseases. Here are some main points of the case of dating research in gene alterations. Number one, ethical concerns. While there are valid ethical concerns regarding gene alterations, a blanket ban is not the most effective solution. Instead, strict regulation and oversight can ensure that research is conducted ethically without completing scientific progress. Number two, potential risk. It's true that gene alteration can have risks, including unintended consequences that the potential for misuse. However, these risks can be mitigated through careful research testing, and responsible regulation after the conflict ban. Overall, while there are legitimate concerns regarding gene alterations, a complete ban on research in this field would be overly restrictive and could prevent potentially life-saving advancement in medicine. Another field, instead, a balanced approach that considers ethical, safety, and regulatory concerns is necessary to ensure that gene alteration research is conducted responsibly. Gene alteration research holds immense potential for addressing pressing medical needs, such as treating genetic disease and changing agricultural productivity. Rather than forcing like a ban, which would have potentially life-saving advancements, we should focus on implementing drafting and regulations and ethical guidelines. These measures can ensure that gene alteration research is conducted responsibly, with careful consideration of ethical implications and potential risks. Furthermore, a ban of after generation research could settle innovation and limit understanding of genetics. Hindering progress in related fields is essential to strike a balance that allows for continued research while addressing ethical concerns through regulation and oversight. This approach will enable us to harness the benefits of gene alteration research while mitigating potential risks, ultimately leading to advancement that benefits society as a whole. 8. Overlooking potential benefits. Number 1. The position fails to acknowledge the potential benefits of gene alteration research such as medical advancements, gene editing promise for treating genetic disorders, cancer, and infectious diseases. Agricultural advancements. Gene editing in plants can lead to improved crop yields, nutritional content. C. Sniffing scientific progress. Banning of research in gene alteration will stimulate scientific progress and innovation. C. Ethical oversight and regulation. Rather than banning research in pesticides, should be placed on ethical oversight and regulation. Banning all further research in altered generation is a short-sighted approach that overlooks the potential benefits and scientific progress. Technical oversight and regulation are essential for guiding the research in this field while ensuring that it is conducted responsibly and technically for the benefit of current and future generations. Thank you.
Next, the fifth speaker of the affirmative side is Rahfi. You have 2 minutes to summarize from the document of the affirmative side.
Good morning, everyone. So we refer our position that while the potential benefits of gene alteration are undoubtedly promising, they must be weighed against the significant risks and ethical consideration inherent in this field. We stand by our assertion that despite efforts to regulate gene editing, there are still substantial gaps in our understanding of its long-term impact and potential consequence. The persistence of the target mutation and unintended genetic change. As highlighted by recent research, underscore the need for cultivation and products in advanced gene analysis technology. Moreover, we react our concern about the ethical implication of gene alteration, particularly regarding equity, access, and consent. The combination of this technology has the potential to exhibit social inequalities and reduce the gap between privileged and marginalized communities. Given these uncertainties and ethical dilemmas, we maintain that a temporary moratorium on further research in gene alteration is warranted. Comprehensive risk assessment, strengthened regulatory frameworks, and societal consensus are essential prerequisites before proceeding with gene alteration research. Until then, we advocate for a cautious and responsible approach to harnessing this technology for the greater good of humanity. So next, I will review the points raised by the negative case. The first negative case, while gene alteration research in its whole lies for addressing health trends, the potential benefit must be weighed against the significant ethical, social, and environmental risks involved. It's crucial to acknowledge that the promise of potential benefits does not outweigh the potential harms, especially when those harms could have irreversible consequences for individuals and society as a whole. Responsible and regulated research may mitigate some risks, but the uncertainties and potential for unintended consequences remain too great to justify proceeding with gene alteration research. The negative team argues that a blanket ban would stifle scientific innovation and hinder progress in understanding fundamental biological processes. While gene alteration studies may contribute to our understanding of genetics, evolution, and disease, the potential for harm outweighs the benefits. We can afford to prioritize scientific scrutiny over the well-being of individual and the environment. Precision medicine and personalized treatment approach can still be pursued through alternative research methods that do not involve gene alteration. Additionally, the negative team fails to address the medical implications and potential risks associated with gene alteration adequately. The second negative case, one negative team proposes that strict regulation and oversight can address ethical concerns. Without a blanket ban, we argue that the potential risks associated with gene alteration research are too significant to ignore. Even with regulation in place, the ethical dilemmas surrounding altering the fundamental aspect of life remain unresolved. Yet there's a well race of crossing technical boundaries in pursuit of scientific progress, leading to unforeseen consequences and moral dilemmas. The negative team suggests that risks associated with gene alteration can be mitigated through careful research and regulation. However, the inherent unpredictability of genetic manipulation poses significant challenges. Despite our best efforts, we cannot guarantee that unintended consequences will not occur. The potential for irreversible harm to individuals and ecosystem is too great to justify continued research without stringent limitation. In summary, we have presented a comprehensive case of arguing for a ban on further research in gene alteration. We have outlined the main points. Our first point emphasizes the significant risk posed by gene alteration disease to human health. We have highlighted the potential for unintended genetic mutation, for unforeseen side effects and long-term health consequences, while acknowledging the potential benefit of gene alteration in treating genetic disease. We have stressed the uncertain nature of genetic manipulation and the need for caution in advanced technology. Our second point underscore the profound clinical dilemmas raised by gene alteration disease. We have argued that the manipulation of genetic material raises questions about human dignity, autonomy, and the sanctity of life. By intervening in the genetic makeup of organisms, we risk undermining fundamental principles of biotic and proportionate inequalities in access to genetic technologies. We contend that a ban on food research in gene alteration is essentially to uphold ethical standards and protect the integrity of the human genome. Overall, we assert that a ban on food research in gene alteration is necessary to address the potential health risks and repercussions and uncertainty associated with the technology. Thank you.
Last, the sixth speaker of the negative side is Rangga. You have 2 minutes to explain from the argument of the negative opinion.
Hello, Judge. Good morning. First of all, I want to define my gene alteration for my seed. While acknowledging the potential risks and ethical challenges associated with gene alteration, a complete ban of future research will be overly restrictive and counterproductive. Instead, we shall focus on enhancing oversight, transparency, and accountability to address concerns while allowing scientific progress to continue. After that, I want to reaffirm my previous case. Okay, the first case emphasizes the potential benefit of the gene alternation research. I suggest that will carefully regulation. This field of study could lead to breakthrough in treating genetic disorders and improving health outcomes. The promise of gene alteration lies in its ability to address hereditary, lies in its ability to address disease, and potentially enhance the quality of life for many. Address again total prohibition of gene alteration research. It highlights the importance of science research in advancing our science knowledge and contributing to precision medicine. Banning this research could slow down crucial discoveries in genetic evolution and disease management. Okay, from speaker is for first one. Ethical concerns. While acknowledging the ethical concerns surrounding gene alteration, is argued that blanket ban will be counterproductive. The preferred approach to implement strict regulation and oversight to ensure ethical conduct in research, fairly allowing scientific advancement without ethical compromise. Next to potential risks and the risks associated with gene alteration, such as the unintended consequence and the potential of issue are recognized. Nonetheless, it's the contended that this research can be effectively managed through careful research, through testing and responsibility regulation, making a complete prohibition unnecessary. The approach combines the balanced view, the value, ethical integrity, and scientific innovation, advocating for regular path forward rather than outright prohibition. Okay, for my first rebuttal for case 1, how takes the potential of this engine alteration. Such mutation and side effects are the serious but manageable with strict safety measures. Stopping research denies the benefit of potentially eradicating genetic disease. Case 2. Ethical dilemma, ethical issues in gene operation are pressing but not insurmountable. Banning research ignores the possibly everything ethical guidelines that ensures responsibility, practice, and equitable access to advice. Well, for my second rebuttal, well, again, alternation has found that in benefit the association with the ethical issue demand caution. The possibility of unintended mutation and the ethical implication of access and consent necessitate a pause in research, a moratorium and device to evaluate strength regulation and achieve society consequence on ethical use. In summary, gene alternation research is a double-edged sword and requires a balanced approach. It holds a promise of significant medical advancement but also necessitates careful ethical consideration and regulation to ensure that it is conducted responsibility and for the benefit of society as a whole. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this debating competition. I will permit you for the next competing